So we're joined today on Highland League Weekly at the start of a new season by someone who I'm sure is very familiar to all of you that watch the programme. It is the now former Buckie Thistle manager, Graeme Stewart. Graeme, you're not going to be in the dugout this season. Can you explain why you decided to resign during the closed season?
Yeah, well, there was a few reasons. Obviously being at Buckie almost 10 years, knowing how much effort and commitment and work it takes to build a football club and manage a football club, I thought there was no better time, to be honest. I was kind of, if I never left at the end of this season or the season past, then, when would have been a good time? Because, obviously playing Celtic was a massive highlight for the club and for me personally and for the players and the fans. And then winning the league in the last day of the season was unbelievable. Disappointment, obviously, the playoffs, not getting to play that. And I mean, we had the cup final, which again, probably things would have maybe turned out different if we knew we weren't playing the playoffs. But yeah, it was a great season. The hardest league in Scottish football to win. So many teams that are up there challenging, and I just thought it was a good time. Look, I'm not, I'm going to miss it, and we could have stayed on, but I thought probably the length of time I'd been there, it was probably time to let somebody else have a chance and let the players hear a different voice, and yeah, probably the perfect timing in terms of what we achieved.
You mentioned obviously winning the league last season, Graeme. Was that trying to get that league or a trophy of some kind, but especially the league title back to Victoria Park? Was that something that had kind of driven you on for the couple of seasons before that to keep going anyway?
Well, I wasn't leaving until we won the league again. Put it that way. I wasn't leaving. I had it in my mind that, so if I hadn't won it or we hadn't won it, I would have kept going. Because the club deserved to win a title. And yeah, look, the cups are good, and I'm not belittling the cups, but the league's something totally different. The league's worth a lot more. That's just a fact. It's a long season, lots of things, lots of twists and turns, and things that go for you and against you. And the team that wins the league, it's a huge achievement. So I was adamant that I wanted Buckie to win it again under me being manager. I thought the players deserved it, and the coaches and the fans. So yeah, delighted, and that was kind of, like I said, I think that was a good sign off that we showed that all the hard work over the last 3 or 4 years, because that's how long it took to build that team, and we got the just rewards.
And in terms of your time as manager at Buckie overall, almost 10 years and 2 league titles and sort of lots of ups and downs and things, how would you reflect on that time overall?
Good, enjoyable, but it could have been better. It could have been better. I think we should have won more trophies. We should, we're in four cup finals that we lost, which are disappointing for various reasons. You're playing against top teams. 2 of the cup finals were against teams that were probably on paper better teams than us, and because they were in better league positions. Other 2 we should probably be winning. We should have won another league title. I think we should have got probably one more over the line. So there's not regrets, because you've got to be happy with winning 2, because it's hard to win 2 in 9 years. But I think if we won another few trophies, I think that would have been more than what we deserve. What we deserved. So yeah, the only regrets I have are you look back and think, yeah, we could have won more. But that's just the way I am, and my coaches we were hungry. But like I said, a lot of good teams in that. You go through it, Brecon and Fraser, Brora, and Inverurie, and Rothes, and for Martin and Banks D coming in. I mean, it's such a hard league. It's the hardest league. So we're happy with what we did. But yeah, and a lot of that's to do with myself as well. You look at, I always say, when I first took over, you're quite an inexperienced manager. You're very inexperienced. So I look back now with my first 3 or 4 years and think, I could have done a few things differently, and that's always the case, and you learn from it. But yeah, no, I'm happy with what we achieved. But yeah, always a bit greedy, could have done more.
And obviously, your right-hand man, Lewis McKinnon, has taken on the job now at Buckie. I imagine you were pleased to see him get the chance, and are you also maybe able to give the viewers an insight into how important he was for you during your time at Buckie?
yeah, no, I'm delighted Lewis has taken it because I wasn't sure if he would. He never knew. He never knew that I was thinking of stepping down. He never. No one knew until probably the day before or the day of. And I phoned him and told him first. I spoke to all my coaches and I spoke to my staff, like the physio and Hamish and Desi, and explained to them the reasons behind it. And straight away I said to Lewis, I said, look, I need to speak to Gary. And when I speak to him, what do you want me to say? What are your thoughts? And he said, and like I said, I wasn't sure what he'd say. And straight away he said, tell Gary I'll be open to conversation. I was delighted with that because I think continuity, especially with a successful team, and keeping those people in place. I mean, I can't speak highly enough. You win things, but you win it as a team. Every award, either personal or team, it's all a team effort. You can't do nothing without the people that are beside you. And Lewis, Hamish, Desi, Davy Young, massively important to me. And the people before them, Mara, Lozer, Frank McKettrick, all these guys played their part. So, yeah, I'm delighted and I'm glad that Hamish stayed on and Desi and Davy, and they'll be a great team. And they might have to add to it. They might have to add one or two coaches. I think Lewis is doing that. But, I mean, he's the most successful player in Buckie's history. He's won, he's won 4 Highland Leagues. He's won multiple cups. He's been there 15 years as player, assistant manager, and then manager. His experience in the Highland League will be second to none. Absolutely second to none. He's got his own style. It'll be different to mine. So we're different people. We probably agreed on just about everything, but we probably, we have different personalities, and I liked it because Lewis can be brutally honest, and I like that. Something that you might have to work on with certain players, but it's the way he is, and I loved it because no messing around. But no, Lewis, he's a clever guy. He's got a strong family off the park and a very serious job. So, in managing people, so he's already got experience managing and managing this company. So, yeah, I've got no doubt if he gets the right support, which he will from behind the scenes, and the fans get behind him, then he can keep the success coming to Buckie because the team's still strong.
Very good. And I imagine as well, now that you've sort of stepped away from it, Graeme, do you maybe take a wee bit of pride also in your seat? Again, obviously a blow for Buckie to lose him, but take a bit of pride in seeing the likes of Jack Murray and Marx Barry getting moves into the Scottish League on the back of what they've done at Buckie when you were there.
Yeah, no, you do because I think they came to us, and I always said this: they were good for Buckie, but Buckie was very good for them. And they had good loyalty because they probably could have left earlier, but they never. And you could argue maybe now's the right time, because of their ages and what they've achieved. But these are two lads that, I mean, personally, I think they could have played at a higher level than they've stepped up to. I think they could have both went maybe full time. And they might go full time in the future because I know Mark's had a couple of opportunities. So yeah, no, we do take pride in it, and they're not the only ones. There's probably another couple in the team that could step up. Lewis won't like me saying that, and hopefully they don't just now. But yeah, delighted for them. Disappointed for Buckie, but like I said, it's the same. It's always don't always think that you've done very well for Buckie, and that's it. Buckie did very well for them because both of them stepped down because the clubs that were at Aberdeen and I think Ross County, if I remember right, yeah. They released them, which is devastating for a young player. And I've been there, it's not a nice feeling. And I think us at Buckie, we took them in, we coached them, we tried to nurture them, we gave them a platform to show their skills and their ability, and backed them. Played them every week and supported them, and they both got 150 games maybe under their belt, and that's going to stand them in good stead for going forward. So yeah, I think they were great for us, and yeah, we were great for them, and I'm delighted that they'll get an opportunity to play at a higher level now.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of folk would agree with your sentiments there, Graeme. And the last one on you, I mean, in terms of, we know just now you're needing a break from management, but in the future, at some point, will we potentially see you back involved in the game, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I've been involved in football since I was 4 years old and played every Saturday since I was probably 7 or 8. So it's quite different. I wouldn't say difficult yet, but it's different not being involved. Always been associated with a club since I was an adult. So this, it's only been 6 weeks or whatever, but it is different. So what are my thoughts? I mean, yeah, I've got a busy work schedule just now. Like I said, two young girls that need my attention just now. So I'm focusing on that. But yeah, I think I would want to get back in at some point in some role. And I see myself as a manager, but other roles would interest me, director of football or things like that. But I do see myself as a manager, managing a team, building a team, and getting players playing together in good systems, team spirit. I love building. I love getting a team and putting your stamp on them. So yeah, I would be pretty disappointed if I never got back involved in football at some point. And it's just waiting for the right timing, and the right opportunity, because that's important. Taking the right opportunity when it comes, if it comes, and also the right timing, because if you take it at the wrong time and you jeopardise your work, because I've got a belief in how I do things in terms of how much effort I need to put in, and if you do it at the wrong time and you can't put all that effort into it, you'll let yourself down and the team you went to. So yeah, the next little while is about recharging the batteries, and then 6 months, 8 months, 3 months, 4 months, whenever an opportunity comes up, and if I think I'm ready, then yeah, we'll go for it.
Very good, and it'd be remiss of us before we let you go to not ask you for your thoughts on the new season, Graeme. It looks certainly, I think, a pretty open race in terms of the league championship. Again, how do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an exciting Highland League. I mean, I'll name a few teams that are maybe going to be dark horses, but the usual suspects will be up there. I think Banks Idea will be stronger, being their third year in the Highland League. I think for Martin will be good. They made some good signings. Fraserburgh will be their usual self, strong up there. Brecon, their managers, they've taken a guy from Ireland who's basically full time, so he'll have a lot of effort, and Brecon will be wanting they want to get up the league. Broda have made a couple of good signings. And then Buckie, I think that could be your top six of them. I think I named 6 teams there. Obviously, there's a few teams that'll be disappointed. Inverurie locals will be knocking the door. But the two teams that I've kind of been impressed with their signings so far have been Nairn, an old teammate of mine, Ross Tokley. I mean, I've been very impressed. There's the old saying, you're only as good as your strikers. I think that's a bit, you're only as good as your whole team. But two strikers they've signed in Ben Barron and Matthew Wright, top quality Highland League players. So I think that's exciting for them. And I like Clark McKinnon signings. I really do. Connor Gethin, so I know well. Nice lad. He puts in a lot of effort. And the signings he's made, obviously they're at a different age, but that's exactly what he needed, I think. I looked at that team. I like their team. So I think Clark are one of those teams that probably needed 2 or 3 senior players, and he's got them in, and they are 2 or 3. Sorry, it's 3 is it he's got, and they're top quality. So if you can get them fit and get the young players with a lot of ability working hard around them, Clark could maybe. I'm not saying that Clark or Nairn are going to push for the league, but I think they can cause a few shocks and push right up at the top 10. So yeah, I think it'll be your usual 6, 7 teams, and then but them 2 teams in particular, Nairn and Clark, I've been impressed with their signings and looking forward how they do.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on Highland League Weekly, Graeme. A pleasure to catch up with you, and hope you enjoy the break for the game as well. But I'm sure you'll be keeping a beady eye on it.
I will be, of course I will.